Welcome to the Dag Code Podcast. This is DDS, where real fans come for real sports talk and no BS. We're your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and Matthew Parker. Parker, what's up?
Man, I am ready for a big Week 3 in NFL.
And I'm ready for another loss. But you got to mentally prepare yourself for that too.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us here on our NFL prediction show. We're going to start with our home team, the Tennessee Titans. They get to play host to the hated, the team that we just want to stomp on the back of their neck and get rid of them, the Indianapolis Colts. The Titans coming off a huge overtime victory in Seattle. The Colts, injury concerns all over the place. It starts with Carson Wentz, Parker.
It does, and he's expected to play. He's got 2 sprained ankles. His right one is worse than his left. That's from him.
Blake, wait just a second. As in the medical field, how is this even possible?
Is that not the most white boy injury that you've ever heard of? Man, coach, I sprained both ankles on that play. How much of an unathletic shit do you have to be to sprain both ankles? I mean, my God.
I listened to a bunch of indie radio podcasts leading up to this game, and all the callers are like, only Carson Wentz.
Exactly.
That's so bad, man.
Well, and not only does that, he's also got the foot surgery he's from the preseason he's recovering from. So, I mean, he's not going to be able to transfer the weight that well and throw it deep downfield. But the thing that hits me first about this game is I've been going to Titans games forever, and every time we have the chance to step on an opponent and take a commanding lead of the division, especially the Colts, and it looks like it's obvious that we're the better team, we don't. We never, ever do.
I mean, yeah, it's been well established that, the Colts have always been the party pooper for the Titans. I mean, every time we have a really good team, it's like, it doesn't matter how bad the Colts are, it seems like. We always seem to stumble on them and make them look like they're better than they really are. But, I think this could be the year maybe we get over that hump. I really hope so. With a guy that's not named Andrew Luck back there taking snaps, that I think that will help tremendously.
I mean, just Lord forbid if it's Jacob Eason. I mean, the last thing I saw with Jacob Eason last week was throwing a lollipop pick to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's running around Indianapolis.
It was a punt. I mean, it was bad.
Jeez, it was so bad, man. And I think Derrick Henry, they're finding the stride there. I hope they keep with it. This little running outside the tackles with the different schemes.
Taylor the one going to be in?
I don't think it matters.
Taylor, are you going to be in?
I think he's playing.
You hanging out? You coming, dog? You bringing your podcast? You bringing the bus? Cool, dog.
I don't think it
Just
matters,
let us know.
Taylor. I think that's a non-factor in this game.
Shit, he is a non-factor.
Non-factor. What could be a factor, though, let's just pretend that somehow Carson Wentz stays on his 2 bum ankles the whole game. I kind of took a sneak peek at a wide receiver, Michael Pittman Jr., 8 catches last week for 123 against the Rams. And I damn well know that the Rams are a better secondary than the Titans.
Yeah, that's true. But I do think if the Titans can load up and stop the run and get some pressure on Wentz, which I know it's hard to do, with his ankles, Pittman's a little bit more of a down the field guy. Like, we'll even be able to get it to him?
Yeah, that is the question, right? I mean, we haven't really sacked a lot of guys, but, we've been getting some good pressure, made people move a little bit, and I don't think Carson Wentz is really going to be able to move that well, like you said, with his ankles.
All right, okay. So that was just one thing that I wrote down. Okay, so let's say bum ankles. He can't transfer the weight to throw it, quote-unquote, deep to Michael Pittman Jr. I haven't seen the Titans stop Nico Hines out of the backfield.
No, they could absolutely do those little short passes to him. They could do the to their slot receiver, which I just completely blanked on his name.
Pascal.
Thank you, Zach Pascal. I mean, all that type of stuff is what I kind of expect.
And we haven't even mentioned Jonathan Taylor.
He hasn't done anything this year.
No, he has not.
But that's what he did last year. He started off slow.
Yep.
And then he turned it on at the end. So he's due for a big game, you would think. And their offensive line, by the way, they could have for the first time completely healthy this week. the Colts, and that's the strength of the team.
I mean, that's the kind of shit right there that always seems to happen with Titans versus the Colts. This is the first time that everybody's going to be together. This guy's due for a big game, and I'll be damned if they don't have a big game. So that kind of stuff makes me nervous. I mean, I really feel like we shouldn't feel nervous about it, but it's that Colts hump that we got to get over, you know?
I believe the Colts have beat the Titans 4 times in a row at home.
Don't you worry. I got the stats.
I'm sorry.
I'm saving it.
I'll steal one from you. You may not have this one. So,
all right.
And the Titans can't beat the Colts. You can get directly into it. But there was a year in between. Am I stealing anything here?
No.
In between Peyton and Andrew Luck. Like, oh man, we've got him then. We lost to Curtis Painter.
Yeah.
As starting quarterback. I mean, I don't care if it's Easton or not. Painter's worse than he is.
Yep.
The Colts, they've kind of got our number. And hopefully we can finally get over the hump. I'm just glad we're getting them early and not late because I think they're going to be a much better team later in the year.
Look, I think this sets up perfectly for the Titans to take advantage of this. They got an unexpected win where the team kind of came together and won in Seattle unexpectedly. You're getting to come home now. You're in front of your home crowd. You have Indianapolis basically crawling in with 2 sprained ankles. And I think this is prime position where you play Titans football. You get Derrick Henry going. You still take advantage of play action. Julio Jones down the field. I'm banking on A.J. Brown coming back. I don't think it's going to be Mr. Skillets this week. But a prime position for the Titans to do what they have to do at home.
Yeah, I agree. And, they still, what is it? Michael, the tight end. Pruitt, is Ferkser back this week?
I believe so.
Yeah, so, we're getting Ferkser back this week. Look, as much as we rag on Taylor Wan, he's supposed to be back, hopefully. By the way, it is very nice to hear Bradley say Titans football.
Yeah.
Play Titans football. It's nice to have the acknowledgement. They're a hard-nosed team. Let's hope that their identity comes out here and we don't play scared. Golly, come on. I really feel like we should win this game. I really do.
I like your coach. I don't like your GM, but you've got to. I think you've got to take advantage of the next stomp. Just do it, man. Do it for the AFC South. Do it for the Jags. Do
really,
it for the Texans.
Exactly. This is the Titans' opportunity to establish themselves atop the AFC South. This is going to kind of determine, in my opinion, the way it's going to go the rest of the year.
But you're right. This needs to be a Titans game. This needs to be a Derrick Henry game. Derrick Henry has more than 200 yards in the first 2 games after first contact. Colts have missed 12 tackles, which is, I think, 3rd in the league. So the opportunity is there for Derrick Henry to absolutely own this game. But the problem with it is the chance to throat stomp them and take over the division. But you know what? They know that too.
Yeah.
And they're backed up against a wall, and they're going to pull out every single trick in the book to be able to win this game because they know this is the most pivotal game across the league in week 3. If they lose, it's going to be real tough to come back in this division because the Titans moving forward have the Jets, Jacksonville. It gets tough after that, but they could take just such a commanding lead. Yeah. This is just a massive, massive game for the Colts. Bigger than it is for the Titans.
Yeah.
Build off of that big win in Seattle. I think it was huge, definitely unexpected by me as the Jaguars fan. Questions about the Titans remain the same. Where's the pass rush coming from? Can the secondary step up just enough so that they're not dinking and dunking all the way down the field?
Well, I think that's really kind of what the Titans defense is, though. Can they get just enough pass rush? They don't get a tremendous pass rush, but if they can get enough of it to move some guys around, hopefully we can just bend not break in the secondary.
I think this game, the Titans secondary has been so bad, you see them kind of sit back a little bit, and because of Wentz's inability to move, I think that you're going to see a lot of blitzing this week. To be able to get him off his spot, and they're going to force him to try to
make him prove it.
Yep, I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
His ankles may not be able to give him to be able to get off the spot.
I would rather see Wentz than Eason.
I would too. Eason kind of scares me. Just big arm guy. He's a gunslinger kind of guy. I mean, he's one of those that could hurt you out of nowhere, or he could throw 6 picks.
Here's why I say, if I were a Titans fan, I think I would rather see Eason because the rookie.
That's true.
Make rookie. We've seen how the rookies have been playing all year.
Sure.
Rookie mistakes.
It's
yeah,
true.
he's going to try to throw it. He has the ability to throw the deep ball to Pittman, but guess who might be back there? Byard.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakes will happen if Eason is in there. My fear is that if Wentz can stay healthy for 4 quarters with no ankles, it's going to be the quick passing game. Can you bring down Hines? Can you bring down Stewart in the quick passing game? Do they hit a slant over the middle with Pittman and he just runs? I think you'd rather see Eason in this game.
I would like to think it doesn't matter.
I think it matters.
I'm just hoping that it doesn't. This offense should be able to just go out there and beat this team down. The weapons loaded on this team you're right. AJ is not going to have that type of game again. He's just too good, too much of an alpha. He's just too good of a player to do that. I think if we would have lost last week, we might be having a different discussion because I think it may have really put him down. But since you won, it's kind of like, oh, thank God, we're okay.
Totally agree.
But I do think it's going to be close.
Yeah. I got some final stats before we give our picks. The Titans are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 home games. The Colts are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 road games. The Colts have won 28 out of the last 34 meetings with the Titans. Blake, can the Titans get a victory right here?
Yes, they can. I think this is the time for the Titans to step up, get the job done. I'm going Titans 24-20.
I believe. Gosh, it's
a tough one.
It is a really tough one. On the face value, this should be an easy pick, but it's just been to too many games. I mean, I've been to 20 of these games. I think I've walked out of 2 of them happy.
He knows.
It
doesn't matter if it's Thursday night, if it's Sunday afternoon. It's like this stupid Colts team is a thorn on us, man.
It really is. And they could be awful. They could lose to every other team in the league.
Yeah.
It never matters how bad they are.
But I think that we have a different team. After that first loss to Arizona and after being down at halftime and responding, we have a different coach. We have a different mentality. Titans win this one 28-20.
All right, non-Titans fan take. I hate your defense. I hate your GM. I believe if not now, then when? You've got to take advantage of the momentum that you're bringing back home from Seattle. Keep riding Derrick Henry. Don't forget he can catch the ball. I'm going Titans 28-24, but do not cover.
It is a big line.
Titans.
Yeah, it is.
It's huge. 5.5.
I mean, tells you what they think of the Colts. Jeez.
Well, let me tell you about a line that might not be big enough. You're traveling on down to Duval. Because Kyler Murray is bringing the Arizona Cardinals into Duval at 2-0. They are the number 2 passing team and also number 2 in points scored. Ouch. That's my first gut feeling. Because I don't trust my secondary either. But
yeah, go ahead there, Parker. I know you got a lot to say about this one.
I always have a lot to say about Jacksonville. You don't have to worry, though, Brad. You can go to sleep at night knowing they're doing their best.
I go to sleep knowing they will
moral victories and all.
Harder.
I got to say, though, this Cardinals team is overrated. They beat down the Titans when the Titans had not practiced together, coming off COVID stuff. Julio and Tannehill had thrown like 5 passes to each other. Okay, good job. Then you go to Minnesota and you should have lost. Or actually, Minnesota comes to you. And you should have lost to Minnesota if it wasn't for Greg Joseph missing a field goal at the end. This team should be 1-1. And if the Titans had their crap together, they should be 0-2. They're good, but if we were talking point spreads here, this is a major letdown spot. You are buying the Cardinals at their absolute peak, and you're buying Jacksonville at the absolute bottom of their barrel. Cardinals are not going to be higher than this. and Jacksonville is not going to be lower than this.
Yeah, I think what it is you got to ask yourself, is Arizona that good? And is Jacksonville that bad? And I think the answer is yes, Jacksonville is that bad. But Arizona, no, I don't think that they're that good. I think that they are you can't really tell anything from that Titans game. I mean, that was freaking like a glorified scrimmage or something for the Titans. It was a joke. I think this is going to be, I mean, I believe the Cardinals are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be quite the bloodbath that we think it's going to be.
Here's what gives me hope. So coming into the season, it was rookie season with Trevor. The ups and the downs. We saw one series of up, really good up, and then it was just down. We still are questioning him versus scheme versus coaching. Look, the Arizona's run defense can be taken advantage of. They're averaging 131.5 per game, but will the Jaguars allow James Robinson to run the ball? I mean, they're allowing 131.5. Just,
we've been asking it all year.
Just do this. Like, keep Carlos Hyde on the bench. Trust in James Robinson and just run the ball, man. Don't try to get you're all cutesy and we're going to commit to throwing the ball 40 times with the rookie. Let's play some smash mouth football this week.
Yeah, take a little pressure off of the rookie quarterback. I mean, that's what we've been screaming that from over here and all the way from Tennessee. We're trying to scream it at you, Urban. Take some pressure off your rookie quarterback. Don't put everything on his shoulders. But I don't know. This is Urban's team. This is Urban's scheme. Seems like it's working out great, doesn't it?
Urban has only, I think that James Robinson only had the ball 16 times in 2 weeks. I do think this is going to be a big game, and we touched on this on our review from last week, but I think Chenault's going to get a lot of play because I think they're going to try to protect Lawrence and get the ball. But we have seen mostly down from Lawrence. We've seen the upper one or two drives that have been good. And with these rookie quarterbacks, especially ones that are supposed to be generational and this good, which I think Lawrence is going to be good, you also see flashes of great games too. Mm-hmm. You know, you see really bad. It's time for a great game. Like, I think that's coming. It's just which team's it going to be against? I really think there's a chance that it could be against this team. I just do not think this Cardinals team is as good as we think they are. I mentioned to Bradley earlier, if anybody else was coaching this team, I would pick Jacksonville in this spot.
I'm with you. I believe Trevor Lawrence has the skill set and the ability to break out and have a game like that. I would love to count again how many of these passes are going to be behind the line of scrimmage or within 5 yards of it. I mean, I think that it's not going to work no matter how bad the NFL defense is. But I think that the lack of a real run game and kind of an established scheme, it's going to not be beneficial to this rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and what I'm afraid of is if the Jags somehow go up 7-0 again this week, like they did last week, here's what their defense gets to go up against Blake and Parker. You have DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. You have Edmonds coming out of the backfield. You even have the rookie, Rondell Moore.
He looks good.
That is a lot of human bodies out there that you have to cover at the same time. That typically means you may have to go man to man, because if you go zone, someone's going to find a hole and sit down somewhere. It's just based on history. I don't like the Jags spot here. Maybe a little what gives me hope is Arizona has to play a team that they can't win next week. The look ahead factor. Arizona goes on the road and has to play the Rams. That way more important game than going to lowly Jacksonville.
They already have people scouting that game, right? You know, and they kind of stole what I was about to say. This is Jacksonville's Super Bowl. They're not looking ahead to next week.
They can't.
Like, this is it. Like, there's the difference between 1-2 in the NFL and 0-3. It's just absolutely enormous. Let me give you something that might give you a little bit of hope. So the Jags are getting 7.5 at home. They're 0-2. They're versus a 2-0 team. Like I said, you're buying the Cardinals at their peak and the Jags at the bottom. The last 5 teams that have been in this situation, 0-2 and 2-0, and then a 7-point dog in the next game, out of those 5, 3 of them have won outright, and all 5 have covered. It's just an awful, awful spot for the Cardinals. Again, if I had any faith that we would be throwing the ball more than -1 yards downfield, it would be an easy pick for me.
I agree. I mean, this would have been one of those trap games for the Cardinals that I would have said, Daddy might have a feeling, you know. But with Urban Meyer pulling the strings here, I'm just not confident in it.
And brother, we've mentioned this. It's really hard to lose again, to go winless in the NFL, right? Like you're going to win 2 or 3 games. Every team
Jets
is.
did. Thank you, Jets.
Exactly. You're gonna win some games. Like so, which you got to start picking out which ones you're going to win, and this just feels like a situation where that could happen.
I haven't gotten over the loss, Houston, because that should have been a win. I had this predicted to be a loss at the beginning of the year. I mean, the only thing that kind of shows me that maybe could change the mind is the look ahead factor to the Rams. I'm going against my team. I'm going Cardinals 33-28, but do not cover the spread.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very possibility. I'm going to go with 28-21 Cardinals, but I'm not going to be shocked if Jacksonville wins this game.
I'm going to go 35-24 Arizona.
All right, we're all on the card. All on the Titans, all on the Cards. We're going to go to what we've identified as the game of the week. Tampa Bay makes a visit to the Rams. What a fun matchup. This could be an NFC title match game. Blake, do you have any initial thoughts about Tom Brady one-on-one against Jalen Ramsey?
I mean, look, it's like talking about Tiger Woods. I mean, every time you try to bet against the guy, he just seems to come out and just shove. So, I mean, for me, Tom Brady says he thinks he can play till he's 50.
I believe it.
I have no reason to bet against the guy on that.
Only if he gets bored.
I mean, really, that's kind of what it is at this point. I mean, like I said, they've always, kind of the intelligentsia of the NFL says that, for quarterbacks, as long as you stay healthy, I mean, mentally, the game kind of slows down for you the older you get as a quarterback, just because, I mean, they've seen so much. And with the supporting cast that they've got down there in Tampa Bay, I have a hard time ever betting against them.
I was just going to say, I don't know that, the Rams kind of base who they are, their identity on defense about pass rush. Tom Brady's too savvy to allow that to bother him. We've seen it too many times. He'll just throw the quick out to Fournette. He'll have, Godwin and Evans.
Yeah.
And here comes Gronk up the seam. And I mean,
he'll just keep dink and dunk and dink and dunk. And then all of a sudden somebody will slip through.
He won't allow the pass rush to go.
No.
I think it's a non-factor.
I do too.
And speaking of Ramsey and Brady played him once when he was in Jacksonville, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he tore him up in the fourth quarter, if I remember correctly. And
that was the AFC title game when the Jags were up by 10 with 10 minutes to go.
And then Brady did Brady things.
Brady did Brady.
No. Check his pulse. His pulse was not racing. I promise.
And speaking of Gronk, in the last 3 games, Gronk has 6 touchdowns.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's unbelievable, y'all. So Brady, just to kind of put this in perspective, if he continued on pace, which is not possible, it's always kind of a fun thing, with how many touchdowns he's thrown so far.
Yeah.
Anyone want to take a wild guess at what it would be after 17 games?
Something ridiculous.
76.
Golly.
76. He's thrown 4.5 touchdowns per game. He's at 9 through 2 games.
That's such a Brady thing. Golly.
It's sickening. And this team, I mean, the Rams are my pick to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were.
And this Tampa team is dangerously good now. And I don't even want to go with the look ahead argument on them because they have a tough game next week, but they're not looking ahead. I mean, it's Tom Brady.
They can't be looking ahead to Arizona because Tampa Bay is the class of the NFC until proven otherwise. There's no look ahead factor here in my mind.
Absolutely. I mean, wouldn't it be just such a Brady thing to do for him to throw for 70 touchdowns this year and win a Super Bowl again? It would be such a Brady thing to do.
He's not bored yet. He's still got the fire, man.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, when stuff like that happens, that almost guarantees he's going to play for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, he doesn't get hit. I mean, he runs the team. Like everybody's there that he wants. I want Gronk. I want Gronk. They get him. I want AB. I get AB.
Yeah.
It does. There are some things now. Speaking of which, so they have three standout receivers with Evans, Godwin, and AB. AB's likely out with this game with Rona. You're going to have probably Godwin locked down with Ramsey. So then you got to figure a way. Can they cover, since without AB, can they maybe cover Gronk and Mike Evans a little bit better? Maybe.
I mean, but Tom Brady has that ability to make another receiver better. He's one of those guys that throws guys open. I mean, he just sees the field so well that he can make a wide receiver open when they don't realize it.
Boy, the Rams D shockingly allows 121.5 rushing yards per game, but the Tampa Bay Bucks have no running backs. No running game, only averaging 67 yards per game. Ronald Jones is stuffed away on my fantasy bench. I have no clue what he's doing. Leonard Fournette's running into his offensive lineman.
Lenny.
There's no running game there, man. But I guess there doesn't have to be when you have TB12.
No, I mean, why does there have to be? There's not. Their running game is short passes. Yeah. I think Ronald Jones is fairly capable, but you don't ever in fantasy.
I can't put him out there.
No, he's kryptonite because one night he'll have 25 points, and then you're like, oh great, I'll start him and I'll have 3.
Can't do it. Look, I'm probably foolishly, I'm going to take the road team. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Bucks 26-23.
I'm going with the Bucks also. I'm going to go 31-27.
This is a tough one. This is the one that because I really believe in McVay and I really believe in this Rams offense. They are good.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make it up right this second. You can't even. All right, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay just because that's where my money's at. But 30-27 again, though, man, the Rams. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah,
it really is.
This could be one of the better games of the whole year.
How is this not the Sunday night game?
Is it not? What is it?
It's because of Romo wants it.
Oh, that's
Romo
right.
said so. It's a
Tony.
Romo game. It'll be fun to watch, and he'll have his insight with it too.
Yeah, will be.
Underdog time. I believe Blake and I identified the same game. Blake, you want to tell the folks what we picked?
Yeah, we're looking at Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I can't even remember what's the line again.
It's 3.
Yeah, I've got Cincinnati.
4.
I've got Cincinnati winning outright there. I think Big Ben's down, right?
He's not the only one. We've got injury issues with TJ Watt.
Yeah.
We've already talked about their offensive line patchwork. Villanueva's just letting everybody past him. I mean, they just walk past him on the outside. Yeah. There's some injury issues in their secondary.
Deontay Johnson's hurt.
The wide receiver. I just think Cincinnati they've been playing some tough football games, and I think it's Steelers are ripe for the picking.
I do too, and I just like watching Joe Burrow play, and I think he's a winner. Bottom line, I think he plays hard. He's a hard-nosed guy. I think he's the last best hope for the Bengals, so to speak.
That was definitely one I considered. I ended up going with Minnesota Vikings over the Seahawks. This is the Vikings, kind of like I said with Jacksonville. This is their Super Bowl. They're 0-2. They should be 2-0. They lost that first game. They should have won the last game against Seattle. They easily could be 2-0, and they cannot start 0-3. This isn't Jacksonville or Houston. If they start 0-3, whatever, we kind of expected it. We did all predict Minnesota to be down, but not 0-3 down.
No.
Yeah.
And after watching just last week, we know that Seattle struggles to stop the run. And I'm pretty sure Minnesota has a pretty good running back. Check that for me.
Some guy. I'm not really sure who that guy is.
Unlike old Ronald Jones, that is my fantasy football keeper.
And Kirk Cousins has been playing. I mean, we talked about this too. He's been playing really well. They just haven't come away with some wins there. Their leading receiver right now is KJ Osborne. Like they're not even having to use Justin Jefferson yet. I mean, they're going to Thielen. Yeah, he's literally getting touchdowns with him, but they're going to have to respond. This is a major one. This is in Minnesota, and I think that they're going to respond on this one. And Dalvin Cook carries them to victory.
Boy, talk about a game that you want to have some fantasy players. Both of these defenses are not showing up right now. So you want to stack up on Minnesota offensive players, Seattle offensive players. I think that's going to be a shootout.
Yep.
Best bet. I'm sticking with what I just saw last week against my own Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to ride the Denver Broncos train because guess what they got? They got another rookie quarterback this week. That's back-to-back. They're playing at home against the worst of the rookie quarterbacks. And with the New York Jets, they are a 10.5-point favorite. The Jets only average 10 points a game. So based on this line, they only need to get to 21, Denver. And Teddy Bridgewater, efficient. He's not turning the ball over. That's all they want him to do. Don't just stay in your lane, Teddy. Keep doing that. But, facing this defensive coordinator, what he just did to the Jaguars after the scripted first drive, very, very impressive. I don't see any reason why the Jets are not going to get blown out in Denver.
Yeah, and new quarterbacks got altitude to deal with. I mean, that's a real thing for a new guy.
Don't forget that he was 3 of 6 with 3 picks. He completed 6 of 6.
6 of 6, baby.
There you go.
Denver.
Minus
-10.5.
I almost went with your Jacksonville team here, but I couldn't lose 2 picks with one team. I just couldn't bring myself to it, but I really am high on them. So I'm going to go out west to the lovely city, Sin City, to Las Vegas. And I know Tua's not playing for Miami, but I don't care. I want to take this 4.5 against the Raiders. The Raiders have won 2 games. They shouldn't have won either one of them. They should be 0-2. Actually, they should have won the second game. Let me take that back. They should have beat Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's bad, so I don't really care about that. And they tried their best to lose against the Ravens. I mean, they had some questionable coaching calls. They should have lost that game. They were coming off back-to-back upsets. They're not going to win 3 in a row. This is just too high. This is an overreaction for their win against Pittsburgh and for Miami's beatdown from the Dolphins. And Gruden isn't good as a favorite. When Gruden is in a multi-game winning streak, he is 8-18 against the spread. They should have lost to the Ravens. They beat a bad Pittsburgh team. And last year, these two teams played, and Miami didn't have any pass catchers. Like the entire wide receiver core was out. I don't even remember who their main guy was. And the Dolphins lost by 1.
Yeah.
Jeez.
This could be, I was taking a look at next week's schedule. This could be a look ahead spot for the Raiders because next week they play Monday Night Football against the Chargers. They could be looking at this game of, it's just the Dolphins. They just got boat raced by Buffalo 50-something-0. So why do we have to worry about this game? I think that's a sneaky good pick.
Yeah, I would agree.
I saw one other stat with if a team misses their spread by more than 4 touchdowns, which obviously they did, they cover their next game by like 82% of the games. I mean, it's something just crazy. Anyway, Miami plus 4.5.
Cool. Well, I am heading to the New England-New Orleans game there. I think the more I watch Mac Jones, the more of a fan I am of his situation there in New England. You know, they're not making him do too much. They're just asking him to manage the game, to not hurt the team. And thus far, he's done a pretty damn good job of it. I mean, not just for a rookie. I think he's done a pretty good job of just as a quarterback. That and, I think that the real – welcome, Jameis. Welcome back. The real Jameis Winston has shown up, guys. And New England's sitting at 3, and I think they got that all day against New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I like taking underdogs, but, Saints.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I might take the points in that game.
I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I know. That's a knee knocker for me.
Yeah, well.
I'm just afraid. I'm just as afraid of that game as I am the Titans, to be honest with you. In a quick recap is, I think this is the Sunday that the Titans just need to do it.
No, I do
Establish that you are number 1 in the AFC South. You've got the momentum coming from Seattle. Please, for the love of all of us in the AFC South, step on their necks. Just go ahead and rip the feet off of Carson Wentz. Forget his ankles. Win this game. still not going to cover.
Get Bradley some two-tone blue over there. Man.
Should have brought you a jersey in.
Golly.
You're still not going to cover. If you want to make money, take the Colts +5.
Well, I like I said, I don't know. I think we got a Titans convert down there on the end there. But anyways, hey guys, thanks for joining us again today. Follow us at Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Let us know what your picks are for the weekend. Any parting thoughts, guys?
Guys, let's win some money this week.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Let's tighten up. You guys be well.